It was the Roblox fashion phenomenon, a game where creativity, confidence, and community walked the runway side by side. Dress to Impress wasn't just another Roblox experience, it was a movement. For a while, it felt like everyone on the platform was either strutting down the runway or watching someone who was. But after reaching viral fame, everything started to change. The same game that had captured the imagination of millions began to lose its charm. And the reasons why reveal a lot about the growing challenges within Roblox itself. So what happened to Dress to Impress? How did this once iconic fashion game go from empowering self-expression to being called unfair and pay to win? Let's take a walk down the digital runway and unpack the rise and fall of Dress to Impress. When Dress to Impress first appeared, it was a breath of fresh air in the Roblox universe. Most big games at the time leaned toward combat, simulators, or tycoon mechanics, making in-game money, fighting enemies, unlocking gear. Dress to Impress broke the mold entirely. It was about creativity, personality, and confidence. Players weren't fighting monsters, they were fighting for votes. You'd spawn into the lobby, wait for the round to start, and get a random theme, something like Red Carpet Night, Cyberpunk Queen, or even strange ones like Late to School. Everyone had a few minutes to raid the catalog and put together the best outfit possible before walking the runway for judgment. What made it special was how anyone could win. You didn't need Robux, rare accessories, or special effects. The best looks came from imagination, not your wallet. Players would combine random pieces, tinker with accessories, and pull off creative themes that made you think, wow, I never would have done that. It wasn't just gameplay, it was personal. People built whole identities around their fashion styles. Maybe you always dressed like a royal character or specialized in streetwear looks. Over time, the game became a form of social connection. Social media exploded with Dress to Impress content. Clips of players nailing their runway looks or trolling themes like Beach Day by showing up in winter coats went viral on TikTok. Hundreds of YouTubers began posting, rating outfits, videos and competitions, some of which pulled millions of views. You could almost feel the same community energy as old Roblox games like Work at a Pizza Place or Welcome to Bloxburg, player-driven social fun. Dress to Impress quickly gained a reputation as Roblox's best fashion experience, and deservedly so. But that's when success started shifting the balance. The more popular the game became, the more expectations rose. Both from players and the developers themselves. Bugs had to be fixed faster. Servers had to be more stable. Players wanted smoother animations, higher quality clothes, and more recognition for styling skill. The developers rose to the challenge. They improved visuals, added new poses, better lighting, and refined the scoring system. For a while, things looked bright. Themes kept rotating, and new limited-time events, like Halloween specials, fantasy weeks, or Met Gala-inspired competitions, kept the community buzzing. But fame is a double-edged sword. Roblox's massive audience brings excitement, but it also brings pressure. Monetization becomes almost inevitable. You can't maintain servers for millions of players forever without funding. That's when the first changes came, subtle at first. Game passes started appearing. For just a few Robux, you could buy premium animations or accessories that stood out. They didn't seem unfair, just cosmetic extras. But slowly, they became more influential. Before long, premium effects, glitters, and rare materials dominated the runway. The same players with paid accessories started winning more frequently. Their outfits looked shinier, their poses flashier, and even if their style didn't fit the theme, they caught the judges' attention. And the community noticed. Posts began circulating with titles like, Dress to Impress is starting to feel pay to win, or, Why are all the winners just premium players now? On paper, the judges were still the players themselves, everyone got to vote. But that also meant the system could be abused. Some players would join with friends and vote only for each other, or downvote everyone else. Off-theme outfits started winning because they were simply flashy. The competition stopped being about clever styling and became about manipulation and flair. Still, people hoped these were growing pains, issues that could be balanced. But 2025 changed everything. That year, the game introduced a feature that sparked massive debate, the Battle Pass. Battle Pass systems are common in online games, from Fortnite to Royale High events, and usually aim to motivate players through tiered progressions and rewards. In theory, having a seasonal pass with goals makes perfect sense. It keeps players returning, rewards dedication, and adds structure. But in Dress to Impress, this Battle Pass wasn't just about playtime, it was about payment. To access the best rewards, players had to purchase the premium track, a concept familiar to anyone in the Roblox community. The real controversy came not from the pass itself, but from the currency that fueled it, shells. Shells became the new in-game currency used for unlocking certain item tiers, accessories, and effects. On the surface, that doesn't sound bad. But the way you earned them was the problem. Free-to-play users quickly realized that getting shells was painfully slow. You'd grind round after round, winning, losing, performing well, and still barely scrape together enough for a single cosmetic. Meanwhile, players who paid could instantly unlock massive bundles or skip entire portions of the battle pass with Robux. It quickly became obvious, if you didn't spend, you fell behind. Free players complained that the high shell costs felt almost insulting, an endless grind designed to push people towards spending real money. Even worse, some of the most eye-catching outfits and effects were locked behind these premium currency tiers. The game that once stood for open creativity now placed the coolest options behind paywalls. The community reaction was explosive. TikToks criticizing the Battle Pass update racked up millions of views. YouTubers who had previously praised the game started making videos titled "Dress to Impress is Ruined" or "Roblox's fashion game went pay to win." One major complaint was that the new system discouraged creative experimentation. Why bother building a clever, budget-friendly outfit when a premium player could walk down the runway coated in sparkling effects and win anyway? Players described it as Roblox fashion's version of the class divide, those who paid and those who didn't. Some even organized free player fashion shows, purposely excluding premium passes to bring back the old spirit of fairness and creativity. But beyond gameplay frustration, there was emotional disappointment. Dress to Impress had always positioned itself as inclusive, a celebration of everyone's style, regardless of who you were or how much you had. That inclusivity was what built such a loyal following. Watching it slip behind paywalls hurt. Comments on the game's page shifted tone. Where once there had been praise and excitement, there were now threads of complaints and memories. People posting, "Remember when this game was fun?" or "This used to be my favorite until the battle pass dropped." And, slowly but surely, player counts began to dip. Not dramatically at first, Roblox can keep a game popular for ages, but enough to notice. Fewer social media posts. Smaller rounds. Less talk in the community hashtags. Influencers who used to host tournaments moved on to other games. Even casual fans stopped playing daily, too tired to keep up with the shell grind or the latest pay-to-win drama. What really sealed the drop-off wasn't just paywalls. It was the shift in community mood. Dress to Impress had always thrived because its players cared deeply. It wasn't just about winning, it was about showing off individuality. Players encouraged each other, laughed at theme fails, and built friendships. But when fairness started disappearing, so did that camaraderie. Matches grew toxic. People would accuse each other of cheating the vote system or brag about expensive purchases. When competition replaced creativity, the social magic vanished. Still, even in decline, the game wasn't dead. It just changed. Dedicated fans remain, hosting their own shows and contests, often with self-imposed, no Robux rules to recapture that original energy. It's easy to forget just how huge Dress to Impress was at its peak. Millions of players, endless TikTok trends, and a cultural footprint that genuinely influenced Roblox fashion. Other developers noticed too. Spawning similar fashion-focused games, but none quite captured the same creative spark. The story of Dress to Impress mirrors what's happening across Roblox as a whole. More and more games are leaning into monetization systems, limited passes, pay-to-progress economies, and event currencies that reward spending over skill. It's not necessarily malicious. Developers often rely on these systems to sustain updates. But when those systems overshadow gameplay, the heart of the experience can get lost. Dress to Impress wasn't the first Roblox game to face this, and it won't be the last. But its story hits harder because of what it represented. It wasn't about grinding or efficiency, it was about creativity, personality, and freedom. And once that became tied to a price tag, the runway lights stopped shining quite as bright. Even with all that said, the future isn't hopeless. Some community members have held on to the dream. Independent creators continue designing concept outfits, and small lobbies still fill up on weekends with passionate fashionists trying to keep the fun alive. You'll still see moments of brilliance, outfits that don't rely on premium effects, looks that prove creativity still matters. And maybe, just maybe, the developers will take that feedback seriously. Maybe we'll see updates that rebalance shell earning, make battle pass tiers more fair, or bring back limited free events for everyone. Because at its heart, Dress to Impress has always been a beautiful idea, a digital space where anyone could feel confident walking the stage. Its rise and fall don't make it a failure. If anything, it shows how deeply players care about fairness, accessibility, and authenticity in the games they love. Roblox's community thrives on expression. And Dress to Impress gave people a voice when the metaverse felt dominated by grinding and competition. That's a legacy worth remembering. Dress to Impress will always be remembered as the game that let Roblox players express themselves like never before. But it also stands as a cautionary tale, reminding us that when creativity turns commercial, something priceless fades. And yet, maybe that's not the end. Maybe the game just needs a new direction, a balance between passion and profit, art and business. Until then, all we can do is look back fondly, remember the golden days, and hope that someday soon, the runway lights turn back on. So, what do you think? Can Dress to Impress make a comeback? Or has its sparkle truly faded for good? Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you enjoyed diving into Roblox's biggest fashion legacy, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more deep dive commentary, and I'll catch you in the next one.